The Commanders land a former Patriots, Broncos, and 49ers GM hired for 2024. Let's go right here on Roll Coverage.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Yep, we are finally here. The Commanders have decided on a general manager, and before I give it over to their amazing video team and this video, I just want to tell you a little bit about where he came from. Hired in 2003 as an executive at the Patriots, he remained a scout until 2008. 2009 to 13, he was the scout of the Broncos. 14 and 15, he's the assistant director of college scouting, then the director of college scouting in 2016. Where he then, after 2016 season, moves on to the 49ers to become the vice president of player personnel from 2017 to 2020, where he was then promoted to the assistant general manager position and now hired as the general manager of the Washington Commanders. In that time, he does have 3 Super Bowls, so he does have he's got quite a bit of cachet. And again, you're talking about 2003 to 2023, so 20 years of scouting and player personnel, so it might be the right guy for the job. But regardless, let's jump into it. This is from the Commanders, so thank y'all.
Welcome in, Commanders family, to Command Center Special presented by SeatGeek, primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Brian Cooper Jr. here with Logan Paulson, and we have just heard reports that we have agreed to terms on a new general manager, Adam Peters, from the San Francisco 49ers. Now let's take a look at his resume and where we are getting this guy from. 21 season in NFL front offices. His most recent stop, the San Francisco 49ers, where he was an assistant general manager and a VP of player personnel. But it's not just his ability to scout talent. He has also been a part of winning cultures. He has won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos during his tenure, and also 2 Super Bowls during his time as a scout for the New England Patriots. Now, Logan, you actually are familiar with this guy.
Yeah.
You played in the Niners before. How excited are you about this news?
I mean, I'm ecstatic. I think, Adam is one of those guys that is just super charismatic. Obviously, a lot of people think he's one of the best talent evaluators in the business, but I think you look at his pedigree, you look at his resume, there's just so much to be excited about, in addition to him just being a fantastic human being.
And you talk about his pedigree and his resume. He knows what a winning culture is.
Yes.
How important is it for us to bring a guy like that here and change the culture here in Washington?
I mean, I think it's incredibly important. I think you can't overstate how important that is. I think he got to watch and study under Bill Belichick.
Not only did he get to do that, but going back to his time just as the assistant general manager, so I'm only going to take 2017 to 2022, I think. Let me check. I'm sorry, he was vice president of personnel and then assistant general manager of the Niners from 17 to 23. So I'm going to tackle those as 2 separate ones real quick, okay? Actually, I'm just going to pull it over. I'm going to put it over this video right quick. During that time, he drafted C.J. Beathard, Trent Taylor, D.J. Jones, Kittle, Reuben Foster, Solomon Thomas, D.J. Reed, Tavarius Moore, Fred Warner, Mike McGlinchey, Dre Greenlaw, Debo, Nick Bosa, and then in his 2020, he took Javon Kinlaw, Colton McKivitz, Charlie Warner, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk. Pretty amazing. Then he moves to assistant GM, where his next year he takes Hafunga. God, I always mess up his name. I'm not even going to try. Elijah Mitchell, Lenore, Jalen Moore, Ambry Thomas, Trey Sermon, Aaron Banks, and then, of course, that flub of a Trey Lance. Brock Purdy the next year, Tariq Castro Fields, Womack, Gray. I mean, that was a pretty mid-year. 2022 is a pretty mid-year, to be honest. Besides taking Brock Purdy with the last pick in the draft, pretty mid. Obviously, you got some last year. But, man, what a little run there. I mean, in 3 drafts, you draft Solomon Thomas, George Kittle. Next year, you follow up with Fred Warner, Mike McGlinchey, Dante Pettis, Dre Greenlaw, Debo, Nick Bosa, Caden Smith, all in the same draft. Boy, y'all getting something special over there in Washington, and I hope y'all use it.
like one of the most dynamic leaders in the NFL over the last couple decades, and that's fantastic to see the fastidiousness of that organization, to see how John Elway did it with Peyton Manning, bringing him into the organization, and then to see the culture of toughness and physicality, the X's and O's elevation that Kyle brings. I think it just the three different styles in terms of how to get to that promised land, to develop your own philosophy, I think is just invaluable.
And this guy has been known as a talent evaluator,
Yes.
right? And as our resident draft expert, man, how excited are you to see a guy like this that really knows how to break down these players? And you kind of talked about the way.
And with the names I just gave you, man, they drafted some insane players. So if he has any involvement in that, you guys might be finding some amazing draft people in the future. Drafted players, not draft people. Geesh, I'm having a brain fart, but man, the Commanders can turn around real quick. That means this ownership group is no joke. I'm excited to see who you guys pick as your head coach. I still think it should be Eric Bieniemy, but I understand if you guys don't. If that's the case, where does Eric B end up? And what do you guys feel? What are you guys adding in free agency? You guys going for a quarterback? How is it all going to work? I'm very interested.
He ranks guys within the draft.
Yeah, I think one of the things is ultimately, GM, you got to be able to identify talent and find the people that fit your vision. And I think one of the things when you talk to scouts at the combine, at the Senior Bowls, you see they have a very kind of rigid structure for their evaluation, one all the way down, and it's kind of globally ranked, as opposed to what specifically works for me, my team, and my organization. And I think from what I understand, Adam Peters does a great job of identifying how to adjust players based on the type of offense, defensive, special teams philosophy you want to employ. So I think having that skill set, and again, understanding the type of culture you're trying to implement is just such a valuable skill set in this new GM role.
And I think a big thing that Commanders fans are excited about is his age. He's only 44 years old. What is it like infusing that youth into the front office?
I mean, I think it's great. You know, like when I was in San Francisco, like obviously he's the assistant GM there. This was 2017. He was so personable and so accessible, and a guy that, despite his, tremendous kind of presence and feel for, he's got a huge elevated role in the organization. He'd come by and say, "Hey Logan, what's up, man? How the kids doing? What's going on?" And I think that there's something great about that. The youthfulness, the ability to rate the people. I think the hunger and the drive that comes from youth is also extremely important. So love that he's got that kind of charisma that I think comes with youth, and the drive that comes with youth as well.
And it's so interesting because you actually ran into him not too long ago, way before this decision was made, of course. Talk about that in the conversation you guys had.
So yeah, we were at the San Francisco game, and we're getting lunch or whatever, and he says, "Hey Logan, what's up, man?" And I was a role-playing third string tight end on that San Francisco team with the George Kittles and all these kind of big names. He remembered my name, remember my kids, took me back and introduced me to John Lynch, and I just was like, man, like this is so above and beyond. And I think, again, when I talk to people around the league, that's his reputation. His ability to connect and empathize with how difficult it is for players and keep those relationships is so important. So I love that guy's coming into the organization, not only to build the relationship with players, but I think it also shows an ability to kind of connect with other people on the staff and connect with the coaching staff that he's going to be bringing as well, or he'll be a part of bringing in.
Stay tuned to Commanders' social pages because we will be updating you constantly on any moves that are coming. Commanders family, we will see you soon.
Shout out to the command center, the Commanders, and of course that ownership group going out and getting, in my opinion, one of the best GM candidates in Adam Peters. So, hey man, I wish you the best moving forwards. Shout out to my boy Howard as well. Go Commanders. You guys, come on. I want you guys to be better than the Cowboys, and you guys can do that with him. So, my name has been Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. Make sure you subscribe to the socials below. Otherwise, have a great day. Peace.